Waves. Now, Waves crypto is in a really interesting situation right now. There's potential delisting on the horizon. The title of this video will suggest that I think this is going to go, and do very, very well. I do want to highlight what could make it do very well. I also want to highlight the risks here based on what I'm seeing. Before I get into any of that though, guys, if you're new here and you don't know what the spreadsheet is, these are the first 26 coins that I did videos about on the channel. In the videos, I showed myself buying up all of these coins. And if you'd have done the same, spent $100 on each when I released the videos, the prices are here. If you just sat them for 16 months, these are the prices you'd have got out of, or out at. And these are what your profits would have been. So $100 into each would have netted you a profit of over 123 grand in under a year and a half. Now that's spectacular. You're not going to get that anywhere else other than crypto. Now, I referenced the fact that this is an 18-month win, like this took 18 months, because that's not the time frame we're in right now. If you are in this crypto market, you will be aware that we're in a bull cycle. Bitcoin and Ethereum are taking the majority of the market share and the gains at the moment. Altcoin season hasn't quite started, but when it does, these markets are going to rip. And if you don't have a portfolio, or your portfolio is full of crap, then you're going to not make a lot of profit. Now, if you go to copymycrypto.com, that's the site I run where I share my portfolio with my members. And anytime I add to my portfolio with a coin, I tell my members what coin I'm going to add and the price I'm going to add it at. When I sell a coin, I tell my members what coin I'm selling and what price. This means my members can copy along exactly. They make the exact same profit, but they don't have to do any work. And if that sounds good to you, go read the site now, because if you don't have a portfolio, this can really help you out, guys. And like I said, you got a couple month, maybe two, and then the market's going to start ripping. So now's the time to get your portfolio sorted. Now, Waves. So Waves is a multi-purpose blockchain platform. It has various use cases, including dApps and smart contracts. It launched in June of 2016, following one of cryptocurrency's earliest ICOs. It initially set out to improve on the first blockchain platforms by increasing speed, utility, and user-friendliness. And the platform has had a number of different changes over the course of time. And Waves' native token is Waves. Now, it's an uncapped supply token used for standard payments such as block rewards. However, the inflation is pretty low, so they're not in too much of a bad situation. Waves is synonymous with its founder, Ukrainian-born scientist Alexander Ivanov, also known as Sasha Ivanov. Prior to creating Waves, Ivanov was active in the industry and had released the now defunct exchange Coinomat and the indexing site Coolly Index. Also created an early version of a stablecoin, Coin-O USD, which was tied to the US dollar. Ivanov is publicly active in the promotion of Waves and gives lots of interviews talking about it. And during the sort of beginning of the Russia and Ukraine conflict that we've been seeing, Ivanov and Waves garnered quite a bit of support. Now, it's worth noting there are some serious problems on the horizon. I want to talk about some of the things that have happened. So back in March of 2022, we saw this huge spike in Waves, which was very unusual given that at the time we were in a bear cycle. The market was completely dumping. And the reason for this is that there was a huge sort of hiring run. So Waves announced a spate of hires for its new US-based senior leadership team, which woke everyone up to Waves, and people were buying and buying and buying. And it was up, and it rallied to a new all-time high. It was formerly headquartered in Moscow by Sasha Ivanov, who took on a strategic advisor role to the newly formed Miami-based Wave Labs. And they hired a number of different people. So they hired Coleman Mayer, the former head of business at Origin Protocol, the head of US operations, Alex Rubin. They hired marketing lead Jack Booth, previously of Oasis, and Vice President of Finance and Operations Tiffany Fan, formerly of User Testing. This hiring rally saw a price rally. With the founding of Wave Labs, the ecosystem fund, and the extremely talented team in place, we saw this huge price appreciation, and it battered everything. I mean, it battered everything. It was an enormous gainer. However, there is a lot of weird things happening at the moment. So, as you can see, Waves is currently not working. It's currently offline. You can view the snapshot via the Wayback Machine. However, it doesn't really show you anything. If you check out Waves Explorer is currently not showing anything. And if you check out WScan, maybe we get something there, but we'll find out. WScan is showing, which is good. So you can see the nodes, you can see the transactions, assets, active addresses. Waves is a very popular blockchain. 3.5 million active addresses. Over the past 30 days, however, just shy of 36,000 that are active. So a lot of holders, but not necessarily tons and tons and tons of active. But it's hardly doing badly. They're doing 147 million transactions over the course of time. But if you take a look, they're doing about 0.13 transactions per second. So it's not great. It's not great. And again, the fact that we are seeing issues here is interesting, especially when you tie it into recent news. So the Waves blockchain has been flagged by Binance, indicating it might not meet the required standards anymore and could be delisted. This news made the price of Waves drop 32% since April 2nd, catching the attention of many traders. It's been a rough year for Waves. In February, it was removed from the OKX exchange because it no longer met the requirements. However, for those who have been keeping an eye on Waves, this didn't come as a shock, since the platform has been facing challenges for quite some time. Waves really did struggle to attract developers and failed to onboard a wider user base, which led to a decline in interest. In 2022, obviously things got worse when a hack on its lending protocol, Vira's Finance, led to investors losing over $500 million. Their stablecoin USDN got hit really hard, lost its peg and dropped almost to zero, similar to what happened with Luna's UST. And the founder has been accused of causing these failures, which he denies. There's also reports that Ivanov's personal wallets were involved in some shady transactions after the Vira's Finance USDN issues. According to DL News, a wallet linked to Ivanov, among several others, were involved in a sophisticated scheme that manipulated transactions to funnel funds out of Vira's Finance. When questioned directly about his control over the wallet, he did not deny ownership. Despite all this, they remain active on social media, sharing updates on new initiatives. In fact, Ivanov is venturing into a new project, the Units network, with its native token Unito. This layer 2 network, based on Waves, aims to attract Ethereum developers by offering compatibility with the EVM. However, it's unclear if they will come to the party, given the past issues with Waves and Ivanov. Past projects include Waves and USDN, now called XTN, have lost most of their value since their all-time high. It's uncertain what will happen with the Unito, but those who have lost money or think they already know. And this is the thing, we've seen a real shift. It's very unusual, to be honest, the changes that have been seen. They have posted something yesterday, or another batch of top liquidity pools on Waves for your consideration. Public sales still ongoing. We stopped our sales on Pink sale. This is Block AI, by the way. Waves reposted this. Burn XTN, tokenomics changed. BAI, token public sale will end in just 3 days. Sasha.waves, so he's talking about Units network. So it does feel like there's been a shift here. Yeah, I don't know what that is. So, yeah, very, very odd. Now, I suppose the question is going to be, does Unito have success? If Unito have success, then it's bringing, obviously it will be built upon waves. That would bring a huge new surge in development to waves, which in theory would be very, very positive for the overall waves ecosystem and waves token itself. That would mean that its utility as a sort of a layer 1 is really strong if it's bringing users on their layer 2. Waves also is technically in a long-term uptrend. You know, bull cycle to bull cycle, it's done very well, new all-time high. Excluding this sporadic sort of pump, there is a potential that waves could go up to $40. That would be based on a few things, one of which being it could be listed on Coinbase in theory. But I will point out, as of right now, I don't believe that's going to happen. I think that's your best case scenario if it doesn't get delisted on Binance and it gets listed on Coinbase and it brings in developers with the Unito layer 2. In reality, however, when we are just looking at the current state of affairs for waves, firstly, this is very odd. This is very, very odd that there is not an active, like that their platforms are currently not working. Very, very odd. Secondly, the risk of a delisting on Binance is enormous. If it does in fact get delisted on Binance, you're talking about huge amounts of volume leaving waves, leaving the trading of waves, which means less investors. The future right now for waves, I would argue, looks pretty dire. It's going to be very, very important that they bring development, that they bring users on board. They have to market, they have to advertise. They have to incentivize developers to come and build on waves or on Unito. But when you've got a website down, when you've got a risk of delisting on Binance, that almost eliminates the probability of like any Coinbase listing. And all of a sudden, things look really concerning. And when you look at that state of affairs, waves may struggle to hit anything like $5. There's a very real risk here. Things don't look positive right now. Like I say, I think best case scenario is $40, and that's if everything goes perfectly. But right now, you cannot bet on that. You don't see crypto websites go down. You really, like, that's not a common thing. You don't see, Binance don't just announce the possibility of delisting. So when they are doing that, they're taking it under serious consideration. If you are a waves holder with big holdings, this is something that you need to be aware of. Things don't look great right now, and they could get a lot worse. Because if Binance delist, this could drop another 40-50% with ease, and recovery from that point is going to be very, very, very difficult. So I would be a little concerned if I was a waves holder right now. Something to bear in mind, guys. If you're a waves holder, how are you feeling about the development since the new team were announced? Are you happy with the Unito layer 2? Are you feeling good, positive about that? Or are you just concerned? Share your thoughts, your feelings in the comments. And guys, if you want to make the same profits as me in this bull cycle, you can do. All you have to do is join up at copymycrypto.com. That's the site I run where I share my entire portfolio with my members. When I add to my holdings with a new coin, I let my members know what coin I'm adding and at what price. When I sell a coin, I tell my members what coin I'm selling and at what price. This means my members make the exact same profits as me, but they don't have to do any work at all. We are in a bull cycle. If you do not have a portfolio sorted, now is the time to do this, because once altcoin season starts, if you have crap coins or no coins at all, you're going to miss out on a ton of profit. If you look on the website, you'll see why there are thousands of members on my site. It's because they're making great money in crypto, and this year is going to be no different. So have a look at the site, guys, see what it's all about, and try it out. And I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.